This is Daylight, back on the PCT. I'm starting a 4-day, 3-night trip. Today, Vobes Trail is my destination, and my final destination on Saturday will be down at the Snow Creek Village. It's going to be about 60 miles the whole trip, and I'll see you down the trail. I'm hiking with my friend Gail. This little section of PCT is wonderful because it has a long section of just vegetation, of ribbon woods and bushes. And then we get over into the boulder area. And then after that, we're into the trees. So it's extremely scenic. And for anyone who might be coming up in the area, it's a great day hike. So this is one of my landmarks that I have on the trail. This is what I call Basilisk Rock. Those of you who are Harry Potter fans will remember the giant snake from the movies. And that's what it reminds me of. And there's Gail. Careful, Gail, there's a snake.
Where?
Above you.
That's really funny. I'll wait until you turn around.
We're 3.5 miles into the hike, and we're making this a photo hike as well as an exercise hike. I just wanted to mention my pack, which is huge today. It's approximately 26 pounds. Might be even 25, 26. I have 3 liters of water and 3.5 days of food, and I'm finding it rather heavy. So poor Gail is having to hike slower at my speed, and I do appreciate it, Gail.
Hiking slower. I hate to tell you.
We're up into a couple of the little pine trees, pine and oaks, which is just so peaceful up here. You can smell the pine needles and hear a little bit of the breeze whistling through the upper branches. It's a slow and steady uphill for the last couple of miles. And I think it's going to be uphill the next couple of days. I'm looking down towards Garner Valley. And back around. PCT. Eventually I'll be going up into them there hills. Just about another 2 miles away. That's what PCT.
That's PCT. What about this then?
That goes Live Oak Spring.
Oh, I see.
We've done 6.7 miles so far. We're at Pct Mile 158.1. This is Forrest, who just passed us. And we just been talking to him about Idlewild and the trail and what lies ahead. And this is my favorite section. It's just a whole different feeling up here. It's flattened out, trees and rocks, campsites. It's really, really special. Great.
Aloha!
Must be going to a mine of some significance for them to build a road so far from 74 and civilization. So maybe one day this summer, this might be a good place to do an overnight backpacking trip and do a little exploring. We've just had some major elevation, some huffing and puffing. At Scale, we've been met by Bill, who is her ride back to town. We're just on our way now, heading towards the Pyramid Peak area. So it should start leveling out for a little bit soon. Looking down at Indian Canyon, and in the distance is the Coachella Valley. Somewhere over there is my home, Palm Desert. And on our way, about half a mile left to Cedar Springs.
Bye.
That's Bill and Gail leaving. We've gone 11.2 miles. We just had a little break here and they're on their way home. This is Pct Mile 162.7. It's the junction of Cedar Springs. So that way is actually down to Cedar Springs, which is a water source 1 mile away. Pct, which I'll be taking another half an hour, so I'm going to have more of a rest. It was a good hike this morning. Hot in the beginning, and then this wind picked up, which was a lifesaver. As I said, it was 11 miles, and we didn't really stop. We stopped once for a quick break, but we didn't even sit down at all. So I'm a bit beat, and I think I have about 5 miles left to where I plan to camp tonight. I've stashed water at the Phobes trailhead, and it should be maybe another 2 hours on the trail. It's a bit hard to get moving after a break, but I knew enough not to stop for too long because it's almost impossible to get started after a long break. So here I go up the hill. The next few miles of trail here are through a burnt zone, courtesy of the mountain fire that came through in 2013. After that fire, the PCT was closed for 5 or 6 years. So it's only been the last year or two, or maybe 2 or 3 years, that we've been able to hike the PCT again. I'm up now in amongst some of the pine trees that have been burnt by the mountain fire, and you can see where the strong winds have just snapped off the dead trees mid-trunk. That's one of the dangers up here in really strong winds, is dead trees falling down across the trail. A little peek through the trees, you can see the top of San Jacinto. That's only 2 days walk away. Who would have thought there'd be grassy meadow up here on top of the Desert Divide? But there is. Just want to mention my new addition. It's my new hiking shirt. I noticed a lot of hikers have been wearing hoodies. This is a sun hoodie. And the idea is to protect your face and the back of your neck a bit more. So I can pull it really forward and it gives me a bit more protection on the side of my face than the apron on my hat does. So this weekend is a test run of the shirt to see how I like it. So we'll see how it goes. When we day hike up here, this spot we named Valley View, our turnaround point. So we hike here up the Cedar Springs Trail, have lunch here, and turn around and go back to the car. You're looking up towards this way, up to Spittler Peak, which I'll hit early in the morning tomorrow. And then we continue on. Over there should be Apache Peak. And then beyond that, we kind of swing around to the left, and Ottawa is up and over that direction. I meant to film a lot of the switchbacks. I just came down, but I kind of zoned out and just went back and forth and back and forth. I was up here last, I guess, September. Pretty much cleared this whole trail from Phobes almost all the way back to Cedar Springs, doing trail maintenance with clippers. And yes, it's definitely overgrown. This stuff just grows like a weed, so you hack it back, and I think it just makes it grow even fiercer. I'm not sure what the solution is. This is another of those idyllic spots. The sun is now dappled through these trees, and there's grass, and it's quiet, it's shady. It's so unlike all of the rest of the trail, which is dry and barren and burnt and exposed. I like it. I like it a lot. Made it to the Phobes Junction, exactly 5 miles from Cedar Springs. Whatever they had said in the sign, they're lying. It is exactly 5. My campsite's quite cozy. I've got all my laundry and assorted goods strewn about my site, airing out and just cluttering up the place. I think I've got a good pitch. I've used every single large rock to hold down my stakes just in case the wind picks up. I'm in a saddle between 2 hills, and it's notoriously windy up here. Gail told me that seeing lizards is a good sign. If you have lizards, that means there are no snakes. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It is the 5th of May, and in celebration, I'm having Mexican trail tacos. Without the actual taco. It's just all rice and beans and meat and good stuff. Buen apetito, or whatever it is in Spanish. It's 10 to 7, and I've just had 2 through hikers blow past. I was just sitting there eating my dinner on a rock out by the trailhead, and a girl came by and whizzed through and dropped her pack and sat in her pack saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And she started back at 74, I don't know what time, well after I did. And she's done the 15 miles, and she's trying to catch up with her trail family, her tramley. And so she's gonna go on another 5 miles, which is some pretty steep elevation coming up. And then just another 10 minutes later, another guy came through, and he was eyeing the campsites here, which are quite nice. They're secluded and protected. But I think he just left and is going to carry on as well. So that's the mentality of the hikers, especially ones that are solo, is just to put in as many miles during the day as you can. No reason to stop. Like me, just kind of hang around and wait. But my body can't handle any more miles today. And I've got a schedule that I'm going to stick to. So that was kind of interesting. But dinner's done, about to brush my teeth, and I'm going to lie down, put my feet up, and maybe read my book for a little while. Good night.